Good morning, friends. I'm going to bake some vegan lemon pound cake cupcakes. And I don't know exactly where I got this recipe. It's not my own recipe, but anyway, if I can find it, I'll let you know where I got it. Anyway, so here I have a cup and a half of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of coconut oil, and I use the unrefined because it has a little coconut flavor. Why not? This is a third of a cup mashed bananas, which was just 1 very ripe banana that I mashed up. 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and this is the lemon juice that I squeezed myself. It's from Meyer Lemons. This looks a little odd, but it's unsweetened almond milk, and they called for unsweetened vanilla almond milk, so I added half a teaspoon of vanilla to it. I just haven't stirred it up. And this is a quarter cup of grated lemon zest, and I made that myself too. I have a video on how I did the lemon juice and the lemon zest. And a 1/4 cup is quite a bit. You probably need a whole jar. So I make my own. But anyway, and then I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm using pink Himalayan, but you use whatever you have. And a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So that's all the ingredients to it. And so I'm going to set my camera up and I'll be back. Okay, so I got this recipe from Show Me the Yummy, and she has a YouTube channel here on YouTube. So if you want to check out her channel, that's where you can find this recipe too. Now this each cupcake has 329 calories to it, and she puts the nutritional facts in the recipes. Makes it easy to print. She has a blog that you can go to and get all the directions. But anyway, this is the lemon peel that I made back in January, and if I can figure out how to do it, I'll post a card up above for that link. So that's what I used in my cupcakes. And it says here to preheat your oven to 425. I'm going to use my toaster oven because that's what I do. It saves some money, and also it's a little quicker. So 425, and you're going to use the standard muffin tin with liners. And it makes 9 cupcakes. And these cupcakes have a glaze on top. They sound really good. So I haven't tried these before, but I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. So anyway, it says to mix up in a bowl. So I'm going to move this over for a minute. And it says to mix up the almond milk, there it goes, the oil, here goes the coconut oil, and that's half a cup, so in that goes the lemon juice, and the banana. So we're going to put all that together, and then I'm going to whisk that up, hopefully without making a mess. Could have used a bigger bowl, but I'm using what I have, and it's a pretty bowl. This is a Sherry Bloom bowl I got a few years ago, and I like it because it's flat. Well, not totally flat, but I like it for salads because it spreads it out so that you can get the dressing incorporated on the salad better. So I think I have 4 of these, and I like using them. Okay, So that's good. Now I'm going to combine the dry ingredients. And like I said, it's 1.5 cups of flour. I'm going to add the 1/4 teaspoon of salt and the 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And that goes. I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of lemon zest. And this lemon zest smells so good. It's really nice and fresh. Really smells good. I think these cupcakes are going to be very lemony. It says that the cupcakes are dense, moist, and perfectly lemony, and smothered in the most delicious 2-ingredient glaze. It says it's a great dessert for warmer weather. Well, we don't have warmer weather yet, but I'm having a 90th birthday party for my mom on Sunday, and she loves to cook, so she's actually making her own birthday cake, which she's making a Kahlua cheesecake, which sounds delicious. But I thought these cupcakes, I had an overripe banana, and I thought these cupcakes would be really good. So I'm just going to incorporate all this together a little bit before I add the wet ingredients, because I don't want any hot spots, which apparently means that you have a concentration of one ingredient not incorporated. So I'm just going to do that. Mix that up a little bit. And I hope this bowl is big enough to hold the wet ingredients too. If not, I'm just going to have to go to a bigger bowl. Alright, so I'm going to switch over to a spoon. Or a spatula. I like using rubber spatulas. And then I'm going to add all these wet ingredients. Oh boy, I'm cutting it close here, folks. So anyway, in that goes. And it says to combine the wet and dry ingredients and stir just until combined. So you don't want to overmix this, because I know in a lot of baking, if you overmix, it's not like you want to aerate it with a lot of air. And especially with muffins and brownies, anything like that, you don't want to overmix, because then it gets tough. So I'm just going to mix this until everything's incorporated. And hopefully these will be tasty. I mean, how could they not be tasty with bananas and lemons and sugar, right? So I'm going to mix this up, and then I'll be back and show you how to put them in the muffin pans. Not that you need directions for that, but, you know, it's part of the video. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So I did a practice one. I like this ice cream scoop to scoop it in, because that way they're even. And I wanted to tell you too, I was just reading an article, and it had to do with gardening. And it said not to throw away your lemon peels, because what you can do with them is plant your seeds in them, and then you pop them right in the ground after your seeds come up. So if you don't want to make lemon peel out of your peels, just put your seedlings in them. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So anyway, like I said, this is supposed to make 9. And I used a yellow cupcake liner because they're lemon cupcakes. So these look like they're going to be good. I like them because they come together really quick. And I always have leftover bananas. I don't know what it is. And most banana breads and things like that, they call for 3 bananas. And I usually have 2 or 1. So that doesn't work for me. So there you go. There's 6 of them. So it should be making 3 more. So I always like when I find a recipe where I can use 1 banana. So anyway, let's carry on here. And I'll probably bake this in 2 batches because my toaster oven only holds 1 tray. I love my toaster oven. I use it all the time. I very rarely use my big oven unless I'm baking my sourdough bread or I'm having company and I need to make more food. But for a single person or a couple, you know, it's great. I would highly recommend a toaster oven. And mine is a convection toaster oven, and I can even dehydrate in it. Yep, it made 9 cupcakes. So there you go. I'm going to stick these, like I said, in a 425-degree oven, and it says to bake them for 10 to 12 minutes. Of course, oh, wait a minute, I found more directions. It says to bake for 5 minutes in the preheated oven and then lower the heat to 350 degrees, keeping the cupcakes in the oven, and bake for an additional 10 to 12 minutes or until the cupcakes are baked through. So in other words, you're going to bake them at 425 for 5 minutes, turn your oven down to 350 and bake another 10 to 12 minutes. I'm glad I read the directions because I'm not real good on reading directions sometimes. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bake these, and then I'll be back to make the glaze, and I'll show you what they look like. I just wanted to come back real quick before I stick these in the oven, because after I scraped the bowl, I actually had enough to make a smaller cupcake, and I wanted to talk about these silicone baking liners. I mean, if you want to save money, they're reusable. You can, you know, they're great for baking muffins, cupcakes, whatever. They fit in the muffin pans, and so I'm using one of these over here. The reason I'm using the paper ones here is because for years I've had paper cupcake liners, and I kind of want to use them up and get rid of them. But then after that, when they're all gone, then I'll probably just use these unless I have like a fancy occasion where I want to use real pretty cupcake liners. But I'm not going to buy regular cupcake liners anymore. I'm just going to buy the silicone ones, and I have some that are heart-shaped. I have different sizes, and they're really nice to use. So anyway, there's a money-saving tip for you, and I'll be back after these are baked. So this is the first batch of 6. This is what they look like when they're done. Since my toaster oven's a convection oven, I did them for 10 minutes. I didn't want them too brown. And I think it could use another minute. Okay, now they're done. I had to stick them back in there for a couple more minutes. I thought they were done, but they weren't. So this is what they look like when they're done. They're not real high cupcakes, but they're not real flat. So, and actually I'm going to not glaze these until Sunday. Today's Friday. Because I don't want the glaze to make them soggy. So I'll tell you what the recipe is for the glaze, and if I remember, I'll show them to you on Sunday after I get them done. Anyway, so the glaze is, you take 1 cup of powdered sugar and 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and it says in a medium bowl you whisk those together, and then you dunk the cupcakes into the glaze, and then you serve them. So I'm thinking that you need to serve these fresh once you glaze them, and that's why I'm not going to glaze them. So anyway, they smell fantastic. I tasted the batter, and it was so lemony and so delicious. So I don't know, we'll have to see how the cupcakes turn out. Maybe I'll glaze one later and come back and show you. All right, I'll be back later. Okay, I'm back. I have my coffee in my favorite coffee cup. Got little coffee beans in there. Anyway, that says coffee on that side. It's got like a little bistro scene on it. And on this side it says cafe. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to turn the light on a little bit here. It's a little dark here. So let me get the light on. There, I think that's better. Okay, I got my little cupcake here. This was the little one that I had left over that I just put in that little red cupcake liner. So I'm going to try that one. And when I was getting it out, the top started to come off. So I'm not going to dip it. But I made just a little tiny bit of glaze with my little tiny whisk. Isn't that cute? Anyway, I'm just going to glaze it with that, and then I'm going to taste it for you and see if it's good. Sometimes recipes sound really good, but then, you know, get around to eating them and it's like not so much. So this was just a teaspoon of, heaping teaspoon of powdered sugar. And if you're vegan, of course, you know, you want to get the powdered sugar with no bone shard. So I'm going to give this a try. And then I just put a few drops of fresh lemon juice in with it. It's really good. So I tried that. And I'm just going to smear it on there instead of dipping it, because the top will come off. Okay. So it looks good. Looks good. And let me adjust the camera. And then I'll see if I can get in the picture too. I'm going to get a fork, because I imagine this is going to be pretty sticky. So, here I am. Alright, so let's give this a try. It said it's supposed to be a dense, it's supposed to be like a pound cake. So we'll see. It's very lemony. It's not a light cupcake. It is a heavy cupcake. But it is good. Very, very lemony. If you like lemon, you can't taste the banana at all, because there was that one banana in there. But, you know, sometimes you use bananas and it keeps it moist. It is moist, so I'll have to have another bite. It's good. I would make them again with one banana. And the glaze is really good. You probably wouldn't want to eat these with, well, you could, without the glaze, because the glaze kind of makes it. But anyway, I don't know. Here's the texture. See, it's not real, you know, like chewy, like some things that don't bake through right. So I think if you follow the directions, they'll be really good. This was good. Like I said, I'm not going to glaze the other ones until Sunday at the party. But if you like pound cake and you like the texture of pound cake and you like lemon, I think you'll like these. And like I said, they don't taste like banana. They taste like lemon. Okay, my friends, I just thought I would try making that. Later on this afternoon, I'm probably going to make another video, but I won't post it probably till tomorrow. And I found some leftover sauerkraut in my freezer, and I want to try and make sauerkraut balls out of it. Now, of course, I'll make the vegetarian version. I'm just going to use some TVP instead of meat, but if you're not vegan or vegetarian you can use sausage. And so I'll post that recipe when I make it a little later today. All right, my friends, thanks for visiting. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.